Hey there, I wanted to share a story about why guilt and humiliation are not effective in motivating a smoker to stop smoking. Hi, my name is Jessie, and I smoked for 15 years before I was able to stop. I want to tell a story about when I was young. I was about 19 years old, and I was having excruciating chest pain daily. It really scared me. It felt like I couldn't breathe, like I was going to be crushed. Being a tough guy is kind of my thing, so I went a long time without complaining, but finally it was getting to the point that I was worried I was dying. And so I made a doctor's appointment, hoping that the doctor could help me find out what was going on and how I could fix it. Went to the doctor's, I filled out all the forms, all the questions, sit in a room by myself, waiting, and finally the doctor comes in. He asks me to tell him what's going on, I tell him what's going on. First thing he asks, do you smoke? Yes. His face completely washed with disgust. He says, don't you know that smokers are at the bottom of the social totem pole? I was so humiliated. Here was someone that I was turning to for help in a really awkward, unnatural setting. Complete stranger is telling me that I am unworthy, that I deserve to be in pain. And I immediately want a cigarette too. But I buck up, swallow my feelings, just sit through his little 20-second speech there and tell him like, okay, well, what do we do to go forward? He tells me that we should do an asthma test. So he has this weird kind of machine thing that I'm supposed to breathe in as hard as I can. And he does this over and over and over. I'm maybe in there for like at least a half hour, maybe even an hour, breathing in this tube. And he keeps saying, he's reading at the screen, seeing the results, and he's like, no, let's do it again. Let's do it again. He's making me retake these tests over and over and over again. So finally, he's done, he's satisfied, and he tells me that he's diagnosing me with asthma, and that he wants me to get a certain medication that I need to take daily. I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, this is not right. This guy basically has set me up to get the results that he wanted so that he can get me to spend more money. So I left that office, crumpled up that piece of that prescription, and never went to a doctor again. The chest pains did get better. I don't know why. I didn't do anything different. They just kind of went away, or maybe I just got used to them, because I had chest pains almost the entire time I smoked. Even after I stopped smoking, they got worse for a little bit and then they got better. And now I don't have them hardly at all anymore. I'll get a palpitation every once in a while if I'm really worked up, but not like I used to, where it's just, you wake up in the middle of the night, so much pain. On top of everything too, I got a bill a month later that has a charge of $50 for a smoking consultation. I mean, all this guy did was make me feel bad about myself. How was that consultation? We didn't make a plan. He didn't give me any options. It was just basically, you're a lowlife who makes bad choices. Well, he had one part right, the bad choice. None of this helped motivate me. As many times as friends, family, strangers would tell me that this was a bad thing for me to do, it never made me want to stop smoking. I always kind of had a desire to stop smoking because the effects were so terrible. Like I'm talking about chest pain. Dizziness, head rushes, the cough, the phlegm, the things that would come out of my mouth in the morning were horrific. The smell, the cost, there's 1,000 reasons to stop, but the thing that made me actually want to stop enough to go through with it made me realize that all the benefits I thought I was getting were false beliefs, was to practice self-love. And a huge part of this was my self-talk, keeping my self-talk in check. I kind of lived this way without even realizing it, where I would be harsh on myself all the time. Tell myself like, you're not good enough, you need to work harder. This kind of voice just like running my whole life, driving all my behaviors. And the smoking was part of that. It was like this weird reward punishment thing where I would earn my right to smoke, or I would smoke because I just wasn't good enough. I started to notice this and I was like blown away. I was like, why am I talking to myself this way? I wouldn't talk to someone else this way. And I really started to notice it. And then once I was able to notice it, I was able to change it, because every time I had a thought like that, I would counteract it with a different thought. Like, hey, I got this. Hey, I'm worthy. I am good enough. I am worth something. I deserve love. I deserve good things in life. And the more I talked to myself like this, it just seemed really undesirable to smoke, because I was changing the thought pattern that drove me to hurt myself, either by stress or just direct self-hatred, sabotage. So I think that the most powerful motivator for stopping smoking is self-love. This will make you not want to smoke. This will keep you stop smoking, no matter what gets in your way. If you have those old triggers, If you're stressed out, if you're around old smoker friends, you still don't want to hurt yourself anymore when you have that self-love. I know that self-love can be hard. It took me a lot of practice to get there. If you want to learn more about this process of self-love and tapping into your heart, check out my free one-page guide to stop smoking. You can find it on my site, honoryourheart.net. It walks you through step by step how to open yourself to a new kind of way of thinking and experiencing the world so that you can get to a good place where you just don't want to smoke anymore. Thanks for listening. See you next time.